Hi, everybody. Another round of poems in progress. A little late here this evening, but you got to write when you can. My name is Jordan Foose. Wonderbook is the name of a Substack that I write. As part of that, I write some poems. I call this poem series Poems in Progress. Kind of the idea being that no poem is ever quite finished, is ever quite polished. I'm going to do a live writing where you're going to see me typing on the screen right here. I really have no idea what I'm going to type. I don't really know what I'm going to write. I just sit, and as I said in the last video, sometimes a poem just can kind of just write itself in your mind. A lot of times I sit down and I just kind of see where it's going to go. So that's where I'm at. As I sit to write this. So I'm just gonna jump in, and you'll see me working through the poem right over here as I go, and nothing pre-prepared. Kind of like the Bob Ross method. You can kind of see me paint the picture, so to speak, as I go, and I might stop here and there and kind of mention what's going through my mind as I'm writing, or as I go back and change something, or whatever happens. So I'm just gonna kind of take a second here and see what comes to me, see what's kind of going through my mind. We'll just see where it goes. So let's do it. We are at the beginning of a new year, 2026, and today spent some time with family. Had some good time with family. There's also been a little bit of I don't know if we call it turmoil, but there's always something going on in the world. Those are some things that are kind of bouncing around in my mind right now. Thinking about ideas around peacefulness, peace, the human tendency towards discord sometimes, though at the same time, there's been a lot of non-discord. I don't think that's a word. People helping each other out. It happens all the time, every day, many times. Let me just kind of see where that goes. What I'm thinking through here is how there is tension in a spider silk. A spider has to often rebuild its web, so I'm kind of putting this peaceful notion onto a spider that, hey, here's this strong thing, it can still get knocked down, and I'm gonna stay calm. I'm just gonna rebuild. I'm gonna go after it again. So kind of what I'm working with at the moment. This is something that I find can add to the music or kind of the rhythm or the beat of a poem sometimes. I have a line here, the spider builds again. Then I start a new line and I put and again. So you come back to a word, it kind of can have this rhythm to it. So that's kind of the rhythm I'm hearing at this moment in the poem. That might be it. I'm not sure. You know, as I said, sometimes you sit and, you know, not really sure where it's going. And I kind of felt like I wasn't totally sure where I was going. Poetry can, you know, some people feel like when I read poetry, I don't understand it. There's certainly, I think, sometimes poems that are almost intentionally confusing. I'll read poems and feel the same way sometimes. But I think the thing with poetry is that a lot of times the writer's working with images and impressions, and after you read the poem, it gives you more of kind of a feeling of something, an impression of something. Maybe not, there's not this clear narrative to the poem. There's not necessarily a clear thing that you're necessarily supposed to take away. It's kind of an impression. So I kind of feel like what I was working with here is impressions, and I don't know how well I captured that in these words. Kind of this idea of tension, of letting go, of peace, of stillness, of being okay with rebuilding. And I think maybe I'm kind of thinking about that because there's a little bit of upheaval in the world today, just in the news, but also at the same time had a very enjoyable time with family and kind of that rooted peacefulness that is still present, you know, in the very concrete, in the very everyday, in the very near. So somehow that turned into a spider and a web. I don't know. How about I read it once and see what it sounds like out loud. They say when you stretch it that spider silk is stronger than steel, woven tension. But the spider is peace too. A wind, a heavy rain, an errant child running in the woods can bring even the strongest thing to tangles. Deep breath, the spider builds again, and again waits for life, weaving silk, stillness, leaves the tension, until life comes tugging on the line again. There's kind of motif, might be a strong way to put it, but you can see I have again, 3 times in there. I'm not sure that was really intentional, but it kind of again has this rhythm to it and kind of this callback, like we go again, we go again, we go again, we leave the tension, if you will. I don't know about all that, but hey, this is the whole idea. This is poems in progress. It's just gonna go for it, see what happens. Definitely not a polished, perfect product. Maybe not even something, you know, that you would put down on ink and publish in a book or something. But again, part of these videos is I'm hoping you kind of can see the process, and it's kind of interesting to see what that's like. It's interesting for me to sit here and try to figure it out too, and kind of see what happens with the limitations that this brings and things like that. As I said, kind of with this palette, if you will, it's kind of got narrow space to write, so the lines have to be short, and that can kind of shape the poem as well. So I think I'm going to leave that there. I appreciate you checking it out, joining in. Again, I'd love to hear if this is interesting for you, if there's something I could do to make it a little more interesting, if you have any questions for me, whatever. I'm just going to keep trying this out, putting it out there, and seeing how it might bring good things or bring some benefit to folks. So again, I really appreciate you checking out the video. If you would like to see some other things I've written, you can hop over to Wonderbook. It is a Substack that I put together. I'll leave a link down below. You can check that out if you would like to. And if you see some things on there that you enjoy, you can subscribe to that Substack, and all new posts will go straight to your email inbox. All right, folks, thank you for spending some time here. We will see you later. Peace.